back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. Tonight is my very first YouTube interview. Tonight, I welcome April Lashon to the chat. Well, let
Hi.
me let me mute this. Hold on one second. I can hear my echo there. Sorry about that, April. But
It's
yeah,
okay.
this is April Lashon. She is a YouTuber, content creator, among other things. She's also a Taurus. Uh, she's a spiritual, intuitive empath, healer, and tarot oracle card reader. She's also an ambivert, retired naval veteran writer, and an avid crocheter. Again, I want to welcome April. I'm
Thank
glad you
you.
agreed to do this interview tonight. And I want to thank
Thank
you
you for
for taking the
having me.
time to let us getting to know you and to
Thank you.
educate us on some
Appreciate
things
it.
tonight that we talked about prior to this interview as far as spiritual energy, empaths, and tarot. So, again, welcome and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. I'm April, as you know. I am a mother of two, 48. I'm originally from Louisiana. I was in the Navy. I am retired. I was raised Christian. I've been in church all my life. Grew up in Louisiana, so I went all the time. But even as a child, I felt like I had certain gifts and things like that, but I was afraid to express them. The way you're taught in a lot of religious circles, um, you know, certain things are just bad. So I feel like I was kind of programmed in a way to just think a certain way all my life, and I've tried to live that way all my life. I've tried to just adhere to the religious rules, but I just always felt, and I don't mean to be offensive, the way I was taught about God, I kind of felt like he was this mean white man just in the sky with this scepter, just ready to always just strike me down if I made a mistake. And so I just kind of hid my gifts. I was able to like pick up on things as a child, and it scared me because you don't know what to do with that, and everybody makes it seem bad. So most of my life, I've gone through my life pretty much a loner, feeling like I didn't fit in and just weird, odd, strange. And that's hard for anyone. It's equally hard sometimes, when you're African American and you don't fit the typical, African American like archetype. So I struggle with all of that. And I'm just gonna speed the story up. I started really hearing God kind of call me away from just religion, because that's all I had. I knew how to follow the rules, but they were so hard. I'm just like, I just can't do it anymore. I'm tired of trying to be perfect. And where is it getting us? Because I believe, and I don't mean this offensively either, that there are a lot of just really great people just sitting in churches waiting to die, thinking that they are going to then experience something great, when really it's really just all in your mind, and heaven is here, right now. So I would walk past tarot cards at Barnes and Noble, one of my favorite stores, and I would just, I would be too scared to go near them and touch them because of what I was taught. And then, all this time though, I'm talking to God and explaining to God what I'm going through, and I can speak in tongues and everything. So my awakening started
Mm-hmm.
last year around this time, actually. And I bought my first deck of tarot cards, and it was like it all came back. Everything that had been kind of beaten out of me, programmed out of me, I could read the cards. I could understand a whole lot of things. And then it started with like synchronicity. I started seeing numbers, 1111, 555, 222, whatever. Just all these things started happening, and I really didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started researching, doing some research on YouTube, and a lot of stuff started making sense. Now I'm still a novice. My journey in a way has just begun. But when I tell you, my eyes are just really open, and I feel really free. And I've had to kind of get away from religion. I've had to kind of just be free to just be myself. And my whole life changed literally 4 months ago. God kind of just uprooted me. I was living in a house and, had all the comforts of home. And here I sit now, 700 miles away. I am sleeping on a borrowed air mattress, but I have so much peace. And you know why? I feel like, like a gay person who has come out of the closet. And again, I don't mean to be offensive. I just want to get my point across. Um, my crystals are out. All of my tarot and oracle cards are out. Whereas before, I used to hide them. I was hiding them in my underwear drawer, hide
Mm-hmm.
them in all these pillowcases, these double line pillowcases and stuff. And now I feel free. I feel free. And like, I don't know. I just feel like just a weight has been lifted, and I'm just able to be myself, and it just feels good. And I'm 48 years old, and I feel like a young person that's like 18 that's going off to college. That's kind of how it feels right now. Sorry, I took so much time.
No, no, you really touched on a lot of the things that I was going to ask, and I'm really glad that you're this open and honest because I'm pretty sure there's other people that either have questions or on a spiritual journey of their own. And I found your story to be very interesting from the very first time I followed your channel, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I do want to check in with the chat. Again, this is Sly Jones Interviews, and we're talking to April Lashon. This is my first YouTube video, and I mean, my first YouTube interview. And I love doing this because we get a little deep dive into some of our content creators, learn some of their motivations, the things we have in common. And there's so many things we can learn from each other. So I love this opportunity. Demetra, thank you for moderating tonight. We have Lockhead Boss Lady, one of my OGs in the house. Thank you for
Hey.
showing up. The Truth, another one of my OGs, one of my ride or die, Private Iris. Thank you for showing up. We got
Hi,
content creator
everybody.
evaluator, HTH TV3, another old head, Keisha Monet. Welcome. Most of these are content creators, so if you haven't already, please click on the little three dots on the right and subscribe to their channels. We have Mimi in the house and Queen Meek Truth Seeker. Thanks, and glad to have you here. All right, April. To those of us who were raised the same way you were, we were raised in the church. We were raised under superstition. A lot of what people will tell you in the world of tarot or that sort of thing, which I'm still a novice myself. I've never had a reading or taken the time to seek out that kind of knowledge. But I'm coming to you now because, like I said, I always had a fear of it. So when people call it witchcraft or devil worship, how do you respond?
I'm definitely not a witch, and not that I have anything against witches, good or bad. There are people who are into dark magic, and there are people who are, I guess, into good magic. I don't consider myself a witch. I just kind of consider myself very spiritual. Tarot, and I'm just gonna let me grab my cards right quick. Tarot has come a long way. Um, the
Oh,
creators are no different than the YouTube creators. They're very just informed, and they've made the cards where they don't look all spooky. There's nothing spooky about tarot cards. Literally, when you look at them, and this is just a different deck that I got. I don't know if you can see it yet. Tarot card, it's just cards. It's no different than playing cards. Basically, it's just a tool. It's a tool for divination, guidance. Say you have a decision you need to make, you can just ask the cards. Basically, spirit, it's your higher self. You're getting guidance about whatever it is you have a question about, and it doesn't tell the future. I can't tell the future. All I'm basically doing is picking up on the energy, either of myself or the person that I'm doing a reading for. I'm not doing anything spooky, like
mhm.
there's no chimes and crystal balls, and I don't have anything on my head. Just none of that kind of stuff. Basically, it's just guidance. I'm tapping into my higher self, my higher conscious, and it's giving me the answers. And my higher self is like the best version of me. So it won't steer me wrong, you know?
Right.
I think like with religion, we've just been programmed to think a certain way about everything. And in that regard, I was one of them. And I'll just give you a quick story. My daughter, who is 25 years old, she never wanted to go to church. She claims to be an atheist, and I was a Christian at the time, and we would butt heads about it. And you know, now I just had a talk with my daughter, and I kind of see how I came off to her. You know, Christians are basically just sending everyone to hell. It's so segregated, and it's like God just doesn't seem like a person that's just so hateful. I mean, I was like that, telling my friends they're going to hell for this, and that. And then I'm sitting in these churches and the same people that I'm around, they're doing the very things that I'm telling everybody else that they're going to hell for. And it just got to be too much. I'm trying to just see everyone now from just a point of love. We're all connected, whether we want to, believe that or not. We are. And for some reason, someone has just taken it upon themselves to just dissect us with all these crazy rules and just things. And well, you can't love this person because they're gay. You can't love this person because they're white. You can't love this person because they have green hair. You can't love this person because they're a Democrat or whatever it is. And for me, it's just too much. I just want to love everybody. Hopefully, like, no one does me harm, but still, it's just still just we can love each other, and this is the time. Look at everything that's going on, all these different factions. What are
Mm-hmm.
they doing? They're just praising the same God, so everyone says, from their own little corner. It's just crazy to me. There's nothing wrong with tarot cards. There's nothing wrong with a lot of things that people believe in. I think where we go wrong, what we don't understand, because I didn't understand tarot cards a year ago at this time. I was walking away from them too, but
Mm-hmm.
I bought my first pack, and so it begins. I
Well,
hope I
we have
answered
a
the question. I
question.
feel like I didn't.
Right. Well,
I'm
no, you
sorry.
did. No, you did. You covered a lot of ground, and we do
Okay,
have some questions
thank
in the
you.
chat. HTHTV3 asks, "Did you buy your first deck?" And
I did. I
okay.
did. And everybody typically starts off with the Rider Waite deck. I got it from Barnes and Noble. And I did like the first reading in my car. It was so funny because I was scared, of course, but I looked at every card. I prayed over, every card. And
Well,
yeah,
well,
Barnes and Noble.
right. Well, HTH also says I too was mostly raised in the church. Ironically, it was during Bible study that I was inspired to get away from the church. Why? Too many confusing contradictions in the Bible and omitted books.
Yeah. And the
Okay.
church hurt. The church hurt alone. Church always reminded me, and I was a real loner in high school, but church reminded me of like high school cliques. You know what I mean? It's like if you're not part of this clique, the cliques that's running the church, it's kind of like everybody sits at their own lunchroom table. It was kind of lonely. It was like high school. You know how it is when you're different and you want to. I mean, I was in church. I can sing. I was a deaconess. I was an usher, doing everything, and sending my tithes like $300-400 a month. Everything I was doing, everything right, and I still felt like there was something missing. Something missing. Yes.
Well, I'm really surprised at the people in my chat that are um, very savvy. I was expecting a lot more uh, people, I guess, that weren't as up to date or up to speed on tarot and such. But it
Uh
seems like
huh.
we have some people, we have some mediums right here in the chat,
Oh
which
wow.
I'm so glad we were able to have this discussion tonight because we don't hear about it too often. Like I say, everybody's in their corners and
Yeah.
has their opinion about the way they were raised, and very seldom is it that we bring this up. Now, what then we bring up the Akashic records the other day when we had a discussion.
We did, and I've been kind of tapping into the Akashic records because I am really trying to understand um, where I come from, I've always felt like I lived here before, and now I understand that that is true. You know,
Right.
um,
And for the people that don't know what
yeah.
The Akashic records are a log basically of every life, every death, every moment of your existence. And it goes a little bit deeper than that. But as HT says in the chat, tarot readings pull from the Akashic records. Every thought and deed and action is logged in the Akashic records. It's like a cosmic internet. It's ruled by Libra, Library Libros, which leads me to astrology, another aspect of your belief system, or not. I'm not even want to call it belief system. I just want to call it a
Mhm.
part of your spiritual awakening. Is an understanding, a base understanding of astrology. Not to be confused with the study of the stars, but to use the actual stars and celestial events to be able to see things in your own life more clearly.
Mhm.
Um, Tell us a
Well,
little bit about the different aspects of that, because one thing that you taught me was that there's more than one sign. Most people think, okay, I'm born under Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, what have you. But you say
oh
there's
yeah.
a deeper aspect to that, and I was
I
hoping that you might be able to explain that a little bit.
Well, what I was when I was telling you, like, you're more than your sun sign. I think a lot of people just get hung up on their sun sign, and I think when I got like my first copy of my birth chart, I'm just mystified. Like, oh, well, this is why I feel so much. I'm a Cancer moon, or this is why I got a little spunk in me. My Aries is I'm a rising sign, so that's fire. And this might explain why I can be a little stubborn or bullheaded. I'm a Taurus sun. I was born April 30th, 1971. That's how I got my name. I was born prematurely. And wow, it's changed my life. We're more than our sun sign. I think if everyone on this chat went and got like a free copy of their natal chart, and they discovered like their ascendant and their moon signs, they would be like, oh, it makes sense. And literally like a few weeks ago, I discovered my true node, and I'm like, oh, so it helps me understand like kind of what I should be doing in this life, because at some point, according to my birth chart, I was a real bitch in a past life. I was wealthy, I was this, and now I understand like why I love people, why I want to help everybody. That's what I'm here to do. And I believe that is why I am an empath. And I'm telling you, I've got hurt upon hurt upon hurt. I've had some of the worst things happen to me. And now I get it was all for me to take that, transmute it into something wonderful, and use it like as love to just spread upon people. My dad, my dad committed suicide 6 weeks before my second birthday. My only brother committed suicide 6 weeks before my twin niece's birthday. I've been molested. I've been abused. I've been bullied, picked on. I've been hit pregnant. My boyfriend used to beat me so bad he would knock my ponytail off my head. And I have to take all of that now and turn it into something good. And I'm telling you, just everything. A year ago, I was taking insulin. I'm not taking insulin anymore. You know why? I thought myself well. I thought myself well. No insulin, and I'm doing great.
Well, see, I
I
figured
get,
that I
I
know.
ramble. I'm so
No,
sorry.
no, no, no. I know that you have gifts to share. I know that you have talents to share. One of those being an empath, and I think that's where
Oh,
you and I
I see that
paths crossed.
questions.
Uh huh.
I'm sorry.
No, go
You
ahead,
can buy
please.
your first deck. You can that's a superstition. I'm not even going on all that kind of stuff either. You can buy your first deck. Trust me. I've bought all of my decks and I have over 90. You can buy your decks. Don't let that kind of stuff get in the way. It's crazy. You can buy your deck. You can. There's no rule book. There's no rule book. You're free. That's the great part about it all.
And that's
Seriously.
another
I'm
thing I
sorry.
see when I see people that study these sorts of things. They do have a sense of freedom or a sense of happiness, joy, and you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their face. A certain deliverance away from what they were taught before, and that's where my superstition started to peel away. Not to say
Mm-hmm.
that I lock, stock, and believe in my horoscope, even though my Virgo traits are very, very accurate. I would say within at least 90% of every
Mm-hmm.
description of Virgo I've ever seen. So I
And
said,
when is
nah,
it
this may not
supposed to
be
lie?
right. Well,
Huh?
we'll talk about that in a minute. but but at the same time, I said, okay, well, might be a fluke. And those of you that heard my empath video, you've heard the spiel already. But then I went to the Chinese astrological signs, and the number, just like Virgo, was 6, and the traits were dead on accurate.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, even if it's not part of my spiritual beliefs, enough of it is true to warrant some curiosity. Even if
Yeah.
I don't believe all the way, there's still something there. And then knowing the existence of energy, the more I study energy, and there was somebody else who brought that up. I believe it was HT,
Mm-hmm.
about high and low, positive and negative frequency vibrations. And once you understand that and your eyes are open, it's almost like you can't come back from it. It's kind of like taking the red pill, just like you did last year. And once you cross
Yeah.
over, things are different. What we taught
Yeah.
came from a slave
Everything looks
mentality.
different. Everything looks different to me. And again, I'm fairly new on this journey, and seriously, everything is different. Wow, animals. Animals, it's like I talk to animals and it's like they understand. I have visions, all kinds of things. I pick up on a lot. And at first I was very naive about like things like protecting my energy, all that kind of stuff, but I'm learning. I'm still, I guess, what you would call like a novice, but still, um I feel the energetic downloads. I see all the synchronicities, all that kind of stuff. All of that is happening for me. And I'm excited because I've never been, I guess, like strong. I've always been like a shy person. I've always kind of like hid in the background and just played my role, like that. So, like, even before I came on with you, I meditated. I got a quick one in because this was real impromptu. And Spirit let me know, like, this is your moment. This is literally your moment. And so I don't have to be scared anymore. If my family, the family that doesn't know, that's fine. I'm here now and I can't go back. I've seen too much. And I love this freedom. I love communing in nature. That's my church now. Walking in this beautiful greenway that's across from my house. That's my church. And I believe in God. I still believe in God. I still pray. I believe in angels. I believe in good. I'm just free of all the other stuff, all the
The
rules. And
chains
so,
of religion, so to speak.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it looks like we have some very, very, very like minds who I think have listened in on some of our conversations, some of our private conversations.
Uh-huh.
Like HT, for instance, says that Virgo is my sun sign, but I should examine my whole natal chart. Somebody else told me that the other day.
I think it was me.
So for people that don't know, first we talk about empaths, natal charts, and all this stuff, and there may be people that are listening that have absolutely no clue of what that means. So I'm gonna step away for just a second, but while I do,
Mhm.
would you please explain to the family what an empath is and what it means to either live with one or live as one? Just kind of give them a breakdown, and then we'll start breaking down the natal chart.
I'll just well, for me, I've always been like a very sensitive child. I could pick up on energies. I can feel people's sadness, like to the point where I take it in and I can like feel it. um if I go to a concert or something with like large crowds, I'm like sometimes I have anxiety attacks. You can pick up on other people's energy, good or bad, and you can attract certain people to you, the energy vampires. I'm drawn to all kinds of people. I meet people typically every day, and I'll pray for them. And it's really just, it's energy. It's energy. But I can feel other people's pain. I can feel people's sadness. I can feel their happiness too. But um, I can just pick it up. That's the best way I think I can describe it. If anyone has like a more technical definition, I definitely welcome it. And I'm a novice even at birth charts. Like seriously, so, you know,
Well,
be gentle.
are you able to see the chat?
No, I all I see is like a little box that says HTHV3, and it just says Virgo is your sun sign slide, but
Okay.
examine your whole natal chart. That's all I see.
Right. Those are what I can highlight using StreamYard. But I did want to
Mm-hmm.
check in with the chat real quick. Let's see what questions we have and who's checked in. Um, yes, even feed your cards the real crystals. I love the tarot too. I read and study them. Okay, I'm sorry. That was older chat. That was HT. But it sounds like you and HT have a very similar um,
Yeah.
spiritual journey. And I find that very interesting. Beloved
Hi,
Princess.
HT.
It's like she dropped in and out. But shout out to Beloved Princess. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. Uh,
Hi, Princess.
Lockhead Boss Lady again. Thank you for moderating and holding it down. Let me see. Yeah, HT is dropping some real knowledge in the chat.
Yeah.
Uh,
Awesome. Thank
r-
you.
right, Life of Elizabeth. Welcome. Uh, Content creator, Akasha Records, a compendium of all human events, thoughts, words, emotions, the intent ever to have occurred in the past, present, or future. See, I love this new group of people
Mm-hmm.
that
Cool.
I have in
Mm-hmm.
my circle now. Renee Gravely, thank you for checking out the chat. We got a lot of like-minded people, a lot of intelligent people, and unless this conversation had come up and we mined that knowledge, I would have never known how many people were this savvy about the Akashic records,
Uh-huh.
about spiritual energy. And you say everything happens for a reason. I feel like I've connected to these creators and connected to you for a reason,
I
so that
think
we can
so.
elevate and build and grow. And I'm really enthusiastic to see what happens next. Again, HT is dropping some major bombs in the chat here. Uh, let's
I bet
see.
I bet
Water.
their definition of an empath is better than mine.
No, yours was perfect. Uh, HT says water signs are very receptive. As the element water receptive, most of them tend to be very psychic empaths. She has a water sign moon, water on the ASC.
Oh, I am a Taurus sun, Aries rising, Cancer moon.
And please explain that for those of us who have no idea what that means.
Oh, what I see now, she is. Uh, water represents like emotions in tarot. Wands is fire. Swords is like mental thoughts. Yeah, and Pentacles is earth. And I have like yeah, I have earth, water. Well, we usually have everything in our charts, but the main three: moon, water, and earth. Yeah.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about I believe it was
Crystals.
retrograde. Well, yeah, we're going to talk about crystals too, but retrograde. My last in this past year, I've heard more about the Mercury retrograde than anything. And me being an astronomy nut, me standing out with my neck until I get a cramp to look at, different planets through my binoculars, or look at different um, meteor showers every year. Um,
Yeah.
I love the stars. So
Okay. Well, it's just basically several times a year, and we have another one coming up. I believe October through 19th. Basically, just a couple of times a year, it would appear from our vantage point that Mercury, the planet of communication, is going backwards, and so Mercury. Affects like communication. It's like the planet of communication. So we just had a Mercury retrograde back in July. Man, I called hell during this one. Uh, so it affects communication. You might have some problems with emails, travel plans, uh, just talking in general. So it's best during like retrogrades not to make a lot of big plans and purchases. It's best to like kind of reflect. So it just appears that this planet is moving backwards. It's really not, but it causes a lot of havoc. So I'm warning everybody. There's another one coming up. I think it's around the middle of October to like November 20th. So it's gonna be hard because both of my children are Scorpios and my sister, and it's gonna cover all their birthdays. So
Wow.
may not be no celebrating.
Well, the truth in the chat says, as far as being an empath, is when you walk in a room, you feel certain connections to people, like
Mm-hmm.
they're speaking to you, but not
Mm-hmm.
talking, but you feel the pain they hide.
Right. I was that's basically how I was saying it. It's like okay, I'll give you a perfect example. I love to go to like Starbucks and Barnes and Noble. And sometimes when I go, it's too much. It's like I can't breathe. I feel panicky because I'm feeling everyone around me. So I'll pack up my iPad and my phone and all my books, and I'll have to go sit outside. And but I've gotten to the point now where I'm starting to really and I'm laughing at myself because I used to be the type of person I used to say, well, I'm never going to be one of those people that's walking around with crystals and stuff. And now I got smoky quartz, I got amethyst, I got numite, celestite. I got it all.
So
But
let's
I've
so talk about that. Tell us about the significance of crystals when you were first introduced to the power of crystals and how they service you in your life.
because I'm a healer, and an empath, Spirit told me that I would need crystals to do my work. And so the crystals, I'll show you my amethyst, they carry vibrations, and they're from the earth. They're beautiful. This is amethyst, by the way, a little small chunk I got. But they have these properties. They heal. They can protect. Um, they emit love, and I love it. And it's just another aspect of just the metaphysical side of things. It's no different than carrying a Bible or a rosary. I see it the same way.
Okay, that's very interesting because of
Hmm.
the correlation between Christianity and Catholicism and tarot,
Hmm.
even right down to the images.
Right.
And going back to tarot, I know you got
Thank you,
probably
HT.
I know you got a few decks there. So if you don't
Oh,
mind showing us some of the different cards and explaining a little bit about what each one of them means, to those of us who have no idea.
oh well, I got like 90 decks, so let
Hmm.
me see. What do I have right here? This is a deck I got recently. Can you see it? It's the Urban Tarot.
Yeah, I can
So
actually
it's
see
not
that.
your traditional tarot. The creator of this deck actually is from New York. He took this deck and he took like traditional tarot and he just put a nice little spin on it. Let me show you another deck. This is the Arcanum Tarot. So the cards are different, and I have Oracle decks and tarot decks. I use a lot of Oracle decks, but I have some tarot as well.
Well, what is
And
the difference between an oracle deck and a tarot
I
deck?
think tarot is basically they're using you have the major arcana, the minor arcana, and it's like traditionally like 78 cards. Oracle cards kind of like give you the wisdom. Everything is literally like right on it. You may have a picture. Now I read intuitively, just my with my mind's eye. So it's a little different, and people, it's just very different for everyone. You can use them in combination. You may use one to read with and another to clarify, and it's nothing spooky about it. It's just cards, but it's infused, with your energy. And it really depends on like who you're connecting to get the answers for either yourself, if you're doing a reading for yourself, or the querent, the person you're doing the reading for. They're different. There's so many. God, there are hundreds of tarot decks and oracle decks. And so like I have, yeah, I do. I have over 90. I even have some tarot dice. And basically, people may wonder why I have so many. I'm drawn to different cards for different things in my life. Where I'm at right now, because I'm working with a lot of crystals, I've been using a lot of decks to pull crystal guidance for. I'm really starting to connect with my guides and angels. So I'm using a lot of oracle decks and tarot decks that reflect the angelic realm. So I think it depends on what I'm going through. I have decks that speak about nature, love, employment, jobs, whatever. It's no different than like right now. I have over 100 Bibles in storage because at one point I was gonna preach the word, or so I thought, because like 10 years ago today I heard God say, "You're called," and I instantly like I went gung ho, and that's what I do. I gung ho. I go gung ho with stuff. So I bought all these Bibles. I'm studying the Bible. I've read the Bible backwards and forwards, and here I am.
Well, what do you
Here
think
I
of
am.
the correlation between the tarot and the Torah, as HT brought up? Because that's interesting to me, especially coming from my fraternal background and a lot of the signs and symbols that were used, which I still hold sacred, even though I don't consider myself a member anymore.
Mhm.
I still hold my teachings from
I
the
think
craft
all one
sacred.
has to do, I'm sorry, I think all you have to do is just take, like, say, and HT might agree with me on this, take like the Rider Waite deck, the traditional Rider Waite deck, some of the older decks. If you just start flipping through them, maybe just the major arcana alone, look at the Hierophant, look at the Emperor, look at all those cards. There's like religious symbolism and connotations throughout all of those cards. And even if you just want to take it to the Bible, how did they find Jesus? How did they find Jesus? They looked to the stars. Come on now. It's all related. It's just some people want us to stay sheep and not feel free. Other people just want to take your money every month, you know? And you know what I mean? You can be free. And I'm not trying to convince you either way. I'm just saying, um, it's all connected. It's all connected. It's no different than just the denominations that are fighting now. Because I was raised Baptist, but I ended up, the last church I was at was more charismatic. And I loved it because I felt a sense of freedom there. Let me tell you, I was sitting in a Baptist church and I was already speaking in tongues. Like, what do I do with this here? You know what I mean? It's all connected. It really is. It's all connected.
Right. And
I
HT
hope that
says
helps.
that
HT is
etymology leads
helping
us.
me out. Thank you, HT.
Yeah. I love that having HT here. HT and I, we met at a content creators channel several months ago, and HT has always been very poignant and giving information in the chat. So much has um my buddy here. And oh yeah, welcome Jazz Plus to the chat too. I didn't know you were here. Real moms, real problems. Thank you for coming by. But the truth is also maybe admittedly or not a male empath,
Okay.
or at least has an understanding of what it means to be one. And being a black man and trying to have this understanding is very different because you don't hear a lot of brothers talking about this unless they're already
Mm-hmm.
uh, educated and teaching, as opposed to somebody who's saying, okay, I'm humble, I don't know, and I'm learning, and I need somebody to show me, so that I can make an educated decision, or at least feel comfortable around a person that may have crystals, may have cards around. I don't fully understand it, and I don't run away out of fear because of something I don't understand. Part of what I love about my platform here is we all learn from each other.
Right.
I've learned so much from Truth, and I've learned a lot from Riverbend, Private Iris, a lot of the usuals that come to my channel because they help me see things from a different way. Just like HT has educated me tonight, and I never thought about the tie between Torah and
Mm-hmm.
tarot.
Well,
I,
I'll tell you, I'm
mhm.
sorry.
Go ahead.
This path, it has been lonely because again, this has all been happening for me just within this year, and so concepts I never heard of, like, and HT could probably chime in on this, the twin flame journey, all of that. I didn't even know what that was. Soulmates and all this kind of stuff. My mind is still being blown daily, and I've had to get some books. I've had to buy some books, because I'm trying to understand everything that I take in, even like your animal totems and spirit animals, all that, I've been learning about a lot of that lately, and now I know, like, spirit revealed to me my totem animal. Well, one of them is the owl, and the other one is the wolf. And I'm just like, wow, you know, I
Right.
didn't
Well,
know any of this existed, any of it.
well,
And
there's
it's
so
been
many other
lonely.
people. Right there, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people here in the chat as well that, are just now having their eyes open to this different aspect of spirituality. Again, I want to thank you for sharing that with us. This is Sly Jones interviews, and we're talking to April Lashon. If you haven't already, please subscribe to her channel. I am posting a link in the chat right now so that you can get further understanding and learn a little bit more about April's spiritual journey. Writing in her journal every day and having her prayer list, praying for different people, but yet still looking to the cards and the stars for her own benefit and fortunes. And one thing that I had to learn too is that about 6 or 7 years ago, I lost two good friends who
Mm-hmm.
were into this, who started entering this realm, and I was the typical calcified pineal gland, uh, stuck on my old beliefs guy. And I lost two good friends because I said, no, you're not bringing this in my house. I don't want to hear about it, talk about it, this witchcraft, this Satanism, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But again, they are happy in life. They've
Yeah.
been blessed to move away from home, found love, started businesses, and are very successful people on their own.
Mm-hmm.
In spite of their uh, spiritual journey. And I'm sorry that I didn't learn from them at the time. So I appreciate
Mm-hmm.
you taking the time to shed light on it for those of us, again, that were raised in the Baptist church or the Catholic church that really don't understand what any of the symbolism means or how the energy works or any of that, and just strictly believe that there's something evil
Yeah,
behind it when ironically you do believe in God as the Bible
I do.
explains God.
And I'm
You
not
know.
I'm not evil. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't think I could be an empath and want to hurt people. It's just like it doesn't go. I will say this. It's been very lonely for me cuz I'm 48 years old. This is like wow, for me just kind of like a career change almost.
Well, there's
But the most
I'm sorry.
huh? Go ahead.
Does
Go
you
ahead.
that Real Mama's Real Problems in the chat asks, does your gift manifest in dreams? And I think she's going to really be interested
Oh
in this answer.
yes. Yes. Oh my God. I have to it's gotten so deep. Like I have to keep a notebook by my bed now. Seriously. I'm writing my dreams down. I don't know what they all mean. I'm gonna tell you guys something. And again, I don't mean to be offensive or anything. And I just want you to just I don't know, stay with me. When Nipsey Hussle was murdered, I instantly saw who did it, but I didn't know what to do with the information. It was just crazy. Like I saw this man. I saw everything he had on, and I didn't know what to do. My dreams are off the chain, and I'm like not seeing them in black and white. It's color, straight color. Uh I see numbers, I see patterns, I see animals, all kinds of things. I don't know what a lot of it means. Sometimes it's a puzzle, sometimes it makes sense. Sometimes I'll think something, it happens. Just all kinds of stuff. I see a lot just in color, and it can be overwhelming. So I have to literally like keep myself grounded, take a lot of salt baths and showers, pray a lot. I keep a lot of candles going to emit light, and I keep a lot of crystals around me now that aid in like protecting my energy. I think everyone starts off with like the rose quartz and the amethyst, but honey, I had to go dark. Like I'm talking about Apache tears and obsidian, tourmaline, things like that, angel light, smoky quartz, hematite, pyrite, all those. I've had to go dark, like the darker the stone for me, like yeah, it absorbs a lot more darkness. But then I'm having to cleanse these crystals a lot more because of of the work I do.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing that strikes me is when I look back at our history, I mean, in Black history,
Hmm.
we always have that big mama or that person in the family who had a certain gift. And I think Real Mama's Real Problems brought it up in
Hmm.
the chat that that gift has been passed down from generation to generation in certain families.
Oh
Is there
yeah.
anyone else in your family that has shown that had any sort of, I guess, shown that they were medium or connected in the
Yes.
way that you are now?
Yes. And unfortunately, my brother, and he committed suicide at the age of 25, and it was awful. On September the 11th, 1997. My mom, my sister is a Scorpio. There are a lot of people in my family, and again, I'm from Louisiana, so you kind of know. Yeah, it kind of runs. It runs like, I guess, throughout the state almost. But yeah, there are a lot of people. Both of my children are Scorpios, and they pick up vibes and things too. Though they're not like, I guess, practicing, or they haven't really subscribed to this way of, like, acting
Okay.
on it or whatever. Yeah.
And content creator evaluator asks, what crystals you recommend for anxiety?
Amethyst.
Amethyst.
Amethyst, angel light, celestite. Oh man, just gosh, I got so many. Whoo, yeah. Uh, Rose quartz even, because it emits, unconditional love. Yeah. The heart. When I think of the heart, most of the crystals that I use for the heart chakra are like green. They tend to be green or pink. But you can use like the purple ones, crown chakra. Think of that color. Think of purples, if that helps. You can always like look up. There are books too that can help you, like with beginner crystals. But start with rose quartz, amethyst, maybe some fluorite, aventurine, something like that. Yeah, but definitely I would say amethyst, a
All right.
lepidolite, something like that. And I don't want to use all these big words. I think like the main ones that people know, they're perfect for like beginners, or just for the basic. Yeah.
Right. And we also brought up the other day in our personal conversation about the Akashic Records about DNA. And it's
Hmm.
funny, HT brings that up as well. Like I say, HT was
DNA
tapped
is
in.
me and HT need to meet.
HT, as a matter of fact, if you want to join tonight's chat, or if anybody would, feel free to join the StreamYard link. I'm going to go ahead and try to share it if I can find it again.
And I'll just say, like, in regards to like my YouTube channel, I've been on YouTube actually over 10 years, but with everything I've been experiencing, I was led to like delete all my previous videos, because that's just not who I am anymore. So I'm kind of like starting over. So yeah, I'm
Uh,
really starting over.
let's see. They asked, someone in the chat asked, where do you get the crystals?
Well, I live in Alpharetta, Georgia, and I go to Phoenix and Dragon in Sandy Springs. It's like the border, I think, Roswell and Sandy Springs. So I go there. Now, when I wasn't, I literally just moved here like 4 months ago. So, of course, I got like my first set like off of Amazon and Etsy. But there is something magical about going to a metaphysical store and being drawn and picking out your own. There's nothing like that. And when I tell you, um, the first time I ever visited a metaphysical store was when I got here 4 months ago. And it was literally like a gay person coming out of the closet. And I just was like, I felt just, oh my God, I felt like I was home. And when I walk in there, who's in there? Black people, white people, all kinds of people, and young people, black men. There's There's everybody in this store. Seriously, it is standing room only like every Sunday. So there are a lot of people who are letting go of all these religious constraints. When I went to Barnes and Noble recently, I went through the checkout line. So the cashier, both of the cashiers are into tarot. One, like me, is new on her journey, and she said that that's the main thing she sees now. People buying tarot. You know why? They want their own guidance. And I'm not saying that preachers don't do the same thing. I'm just saying that there are just some things you can just experience for yourself. You can eliminate, if you will, the middleman.
All right, awesome. Now we do have another question in the chat, and that is, do the crystals have to match the chakra? Now, just to explain to everyone what chakras are in a very, very brief beginner's way, you have the crown chakra that exists at the top of or the crown of your head, your third eye chakra, which exists right between your eyes, the throat chakra, which explains itself, the heart chakra, solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra, which are uh, the colors violet, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And I guess the question she's asking is, and I looked up actually a chakra healing guide that
Mhm.
mentions the different colors, does it have to be a specific color stone to cure a specific
I
chakra?
for the most part, I do try to like use the crystal that corresponds to that color. But most of the time, I use them wherever they work. They do. They work.
Right.
I think it just depends on the purpose, the person. My thing is this, and this is something I think I really would just like to get across. Don't bring all your rules, to even to this. Let yourself be free to do it how you do it. Do what's comfortable for you. If you want to keep your tarot cards in a velvet bag or a silk scarf, do what's comfortable for you. That's what I'm doing. I don't need all that I experienced in Christianity to come here into this now. You know what I mean? Do what makes you feel comfortable. Connect to your spirit guides, connect to spirit, the angels, nature, in a way that makes you comfortable. Don't try to go out here and follow all this stuff that makes you crazy. It's too much. Like I've gotten to a point, and I said this today, like I'm gonna stop watching all these twin flame readers, because that's something I never knew about, but I am aware of who my twin flame divine counterpart, if you will, is. And it's like I just wanna be. I'm tired of just trying to figure it out and keep up with it. It's making me crazy because I'm getting too caught up in everybody and their definitions, and I'm romanticizing stuff and getting all starry eyed, and I don't want to be off my purpose. And so how this came, you and I having this conversation, even to the point where we're doing this tonight, is very significant for me, because earlier today, I was crying because I just felt like, well, God, what do I do? Yeah, I'm an empath. I'm a healer. I can read tarot, but like, what do I do with it now? What do I do with it now? And look, you just out of the blue, call me and ask me would I do this, and here I am now. It's out there.
Right. And I feel like it was time because your channel does deserve a lot more recognition and exposure. And in the past few weeks, I've been really blessed to meet some awesome, awesome new content creators. Melanated High Priestess, welcome. I know you could appreciate this conversation and have something to add. So please,
Hi,
please,
high
don't
priestess.
be shy. If you feel like joining into the StreamYard, feel free. The link is in the comments. But I thought this would be interesting, not only for people to know that there are other empaths out there, there may be other mediums out there, that
Hmm.
there's other people that are on the same spiritual journey, moving away from the church, moving away from what we were traditionally taught as young black people, just that obedience, that fear. There's hardly any joy or light in what we learn in the church,
Yeah.
and there is. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
it feels good to sing a good gospel song and to get up and clap and feel the spirit.
Yeah.
But
I
we
think
all know.
what
Go
I
ahead.
think what accelerated, I'm sorry, what accelerated me, walking this journey too was like I'm sitting in a predominantly white church. I'm in an affluent neighborhood area, and I started just sensing, okay, the the love of Trump, but the hate of us. How can you say you love me, and you know what I mean? I think that spurred a lot on for me because I saw how even that, not to get political and all that, but I just saw how that just tore the just my church up in a way because I really got to see like you don't love me at all. This is just lip service, and here I am, I'm eating your macaroni and cheese, and you really don't like me. I'm black, I'm colored, I should go back to wherever I came from, that kind of stuff. So it's all been a learning process for me. But I know now to just keep my energy pure, keep my thoughts pure. Like I went through like my Instagram and I just started taking off all the political stuff, anything that was like hate filled to just attract, you know, good energy towards me. I think we all have to do that now. Just think about what's going on in the world. The earth is tired. The earth is tired of all this hatred and killings and molestation and sex trafficking and lying and everybody wanting to stunt on the other person, everybody trying to outdo each other. Mother Earth is tired. And right now, what's happening? We're all being just woken up. Our consciousness is being raised. Yes. And I know, some of you can feel it. You can feel what's going on. I know you're all ready for the full moon. You're ready for this portal. You're ready for Saturn to go direct. All this stuff because it's bringing about change.
Well, a lot of us, like I say, that are on the learning side or on the novice side of all this. Like I say, for some of us, this may sound, I guess, like gibberish, but for those that are in the know, they actually know what it means for this portal that's coming up on September the 9th. So again, for those of us in the dunce cap section,
I'm gonna
please
let
explain
HT
what that
take
means.
that one. Let HT take the portal question. It might be over my head, but I'm already feeling it. I'm feeling the beginnings of it right now, like just things going on energetically with me, literally. Outer body experiences, astral travel, all of that is real and it is happening to me. When I tell you yesterday, I literally felt my soul leave my body. It was like I was on a seesaw, honey. And it's like, woo, it's a lot going on energetically for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to be just coming into like this just new awareness of who they truly are. They are going to remember who they truly are. Not They're not gonna just be new people. They're remembering who they are. And I just think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. Yes.
Well, I mean, I like the discovery of it all. I like to see when people are enlightened
Mm-hmm.
and minds are expanded. I think that's awesome, especially for Black people who've always been taught that everything is taboo,
Yeah.
shielded, taught to be scared and superstitious. You know, for me to hear a different understanding of it
Yeah.
makes it a lot less spooky to me,
Yeah.
and I can be a lot more tolerant
Yeah.
and less hateful and less judgmental as a person. So actually watching your journey and your growth is helping my journey and my growth.
Yeah. I've stopped eating meat, everything. And I feel great. I do. My mind is clear. I feel good. And I'm not putting down on people who still eat meat. My daughter still eats meat. I'm not trying to push my way of thinking on anybody. I'm just saying for me, I wanted that clarity. I wanted it. I wanted to feel just so connected to something so good. It's just an awesome feeling. I can't even put it into words. And I think about like all the time I spent in church. I learned a lot. I learned a lot too, but it's like, wow, you know, I'm sitting in a church and yet this this preacher, he's he's sleeping with my friend. You know what I mean? The pastor of the church is sleeping with my friend. That's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's crazy. And you got all this misappropriation of funds and stuff like that. I think about my grandmother's church. Good God, I was singing at this church when I'm like 15, 17 years old. I go back to visit this church. What did they do with all the money? The church looks the exact same. I'm 48 years old.
The
Seriously,
building
how do you
fund.
explain that?
The
I'm
building fund for the
48
air
years
conditioner.
old. I'm almost 49. The church looks the exact same. Where's this doorknob? Where's the door? Where's the paint? Where did the money go?
But the
I'm
pastor
just
has a
saying.
brand new Cadillac Escalade, right next to his son's brand new Dodge Challenger, you know, right next to the first lady's car. And that's where the money's going. If you look at the pastor's house, the first lady's car, look at the wardrobe, that's exactly where the money's going.
That's crazy. And I don't and I'm not putting down like on people who have publishing companies who put out records. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about literally just it's false. A lot of it is false. We're sitting somewhere being told how to basically hate other people. Like, and we all think we are right. Look at all these religions. Everybody thinks they're right about their, I guess, their version of God. Everybody just thinks they're right. And I'm just like, it's tiring. It's just tiring. I just want to love who I want to love. I just want to just be free, and I might visit a church every now and then. I probably won't start this year, but right now I'm glad to be free from it. I mean, just free from it. My grandmother is just religious. She's religious. She follows all the rules and I'm spiritual. We can't even really talk about the same things because, well, it's two different vibrations. It's two different, ways of thinking. I love her, but it's like, well, I don't think I should just bake the pastor a pan of dressing when we don't have anything to eat. I love them,
Right.
but I'm hungry
And
too.
there's a lot of old ladies making a decision between paying their tithes and having medicine
Yes,
because they feel like
yes.
they're going to be saved and delivered
And I
one
don't have a
day.
problem with tithes either. If it's taught right, I think that's where the problem lies. It's how tithes are taught. I mean, I got sick of just going to all these churches, and I've been from the smallest little hole in the wall to some of these mega churches, famous pastors, and all of that. Even, where I left, famous pastor, singer, all of that. But honey, these money lines and all this stuff, it has to stop. Why are you breaking up the congregation into denominations? So God is only going to bless me if I can give you $100. And why are you telling me what to give you? Like, there's nothing else. We've been here 8 hours. I don't have anything else in my purse to give you. I got a wood nickel, maybe a bus card. You
Oh,
can
oh, oh,
have
they
it,
already
but
know that because they have your tax returns or they have your W-2 or they have your uh, social security number, and your earnings and all of that. So the church already knows how much you make and they
I
tell you
got
how
tired
much
of
to
all of
tithe.
that. And honey, I was sending my tithes faithfully, and I'm watching TBN and all these preachers and all of them telling me how much to send, and I was doing it, and here, my life is just going down the toilet, and this is many many years ago, but like I said, I always felt like there was just something missing, and I think it's like I said, I removed the middleman, and I can praise God right here in my house I'm all right with it. There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with the people who still go to like a brick and mortar church. There's nothing wrong with it. I think just right now it's just not for me. And I'm just speaking of myself, my experiences, not to like really make anyone make a decision one way or the other.
Well,
I'm
let me
really
ask you
just
this because I know it's more than a decision. It's a almost a lifestyle change that you have to be mentally, spiritually, emotionally ready for. And it sounds like
Mhm.
that you were ready for your journey, but some like take somebody who's on the outside looking in who's maybe not sure. I mean, what were your first steps? Did you just walk into a crystal store? Did you meet a stranger on the street? I mean, what was the
um
catalyst? Not just that deep down longing to learn or that feeling odd, like the odd man out, or the odd
yeah,
woman out.
usually I think usually when you're ascension or you're about to be awakened, there's usually some type of deep pain or trauma. I experienced this last year. I had something really hurtful, and I don't have to go into it, happen to me. And I had someone very close to me hurt me, lie on me, and I grieved it, I mourned it, and I started just seeing 1111. And you see it, and you're like, oh, 1111. Then I just kept seeing it, and it showed up in a movie, some movie on Netflix, and I'm like, let me Google this. What is this all about? 1111. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's begun. So it kind of just started from there, and then it just got to be things with my electronics and being woken up at like 333, stuff like that. And the weirdest thing, and I showed you this, my phone number by itself. I was like, oh my God. Dates, just a lot of stuff just lining up. And then I think, I was questioning. I think when you start saying, when you start like posing these questions out loud, God, I don't feel like I belong here. Like something's not right. Something seems like it's missing. I just don't feel like I belong. Like I feel so strange. Why do I feel like a alien? What's wrong with me? Nobody loves me. I don't seem to fit in with anybody. I was having those types of conversations with God, and so it began.
Okay, well, again, that's very interesting how you started your journey. It was pain, almost like every other superhero story that we've ever heard. It took a painful event or something life changing to alter your whole spectrum to, like a cocoon for a butterfly, before you're just crawling, you know, looking for answers. And then finally you
Yeah.
manifest into that beautiful butterfly that's able to,
That's
um,
funny you mentioned that because that's all I see now are butterflies. Whereas before, all I was seeing was cocoons, and it's symbolic, I'm saying this to say something. Pay attention to the animals you start seeing on a repetitive basis. It definitely means something. I was seeing owls, and it's rare to see certain owls in the daytime. And this very owl that I saw on a tarot card, I saw that same owl in person like the next day. Just yeah, yeah. But the hurts still continue. Um, I think they get worse because basically you have to let go of your ego. You have to learn how to deal with your shadow side and your light side. That's where I'm at now, dealing with like my inner masculine, inner feminine, all those types of things. Learning how to balance the light and the dark because we need them both. Um, Trying to just navigate a lot of information, and even people who are what I consider dark workers. Not everybody, has good intentions, even on the metaphysical side. So I have to, navigate around that. So you got the same type of people, religious people or whatever. It's just the same type of people. So you have to be careful. And again, I was kind of starry eyed thinking everybody is full of love and light, and it's not true. It's
Uh,
not true at all.
yeah, but okay, so you know that's the thing. That love and light, that truth that you want to see in people. Sometimes
Hmm.
we see them in a brighter light than they deserve because we, vibrated at higher frequency, and we want to take people with us. One thing
Yeah.
about me as a Virgo is that I love to teach, but I also
Hmm.
want to not necessarily convert, but just let somebody know that there is another way of thinking. There is another side. Everything isn't just rigid black and white. There are shades of gray in between that connect us all that we can all learn from.
Yeah. That's
So,
funny to hear that from a Virgo, actually, because Virgos are very analytical and detail oriented, and yeah,
well, tell me
kind of.
about it. Since you did my
I
birth
think no,
chart.
I love Virgos. My aunt is a Virgo. They have their light sides and shadow sides too. I think sometimes Virgos can fret. I would say that's
Mhm.
like a shadow side, but I think there's just positive and negative traits of all people from that all the signs basically.
Well, since you were able to do my chart
Well,
by
not
me
really
sharing
do it.
some,
I pulled it
well,
up for you.
no, you
Not
did
do
you
it.
accessed my chart with the information I gave you. Tell me a little
Okay.
bit about what you learned from my chart.
Well, just through talking to you, remember I kept saying to you, "Oh, I bet you this guy has cancer in his chart," and you did.
Mm-hmm.
But I was shocked by your. I think your moon was in Scorpio, but you had cancer in your chart. That was the one thing I was picking up on. It was just funny because uh, I had come in contact with like three or four people during the day, and I just picked it up like they all have cancer in their charts, and I showed them how to go to get like the free chart, and it was so. And one person I said like they got Gemini in their chart. I know they do, and it was so.
Wow, and that's amazing that you can pick up on those traits. So, what are these different? Because most of us only know our solar sign based on our birth date. What are these lower signs, and and what do they represent?
Oh, well, it's just the ascendant, the rising. That's like where what was happening, like with the planets at the exact time you were born. If you ever want to get your free natal chart, you can go to like Cafe Astrology or something like that. They're gonna ask you for your name, where you were born, and the time and the place. If you don't know, you can put I think it's 12 o'clock a.m. But it'll tell you like your rising sign and your moon sign and a lot of other placements. It's so much. It's way too much to go into here. You probably have to do another show. But like when you watch a lot of these readers, they'll say, "Well, I'm going to be reading for say Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, and maybe Jupiter." So if you know what those are, you can just watch those certain videos that pertain to that. I'll say this though, just try to pick readers or whatever that you resonate with. And I have a couple of favorites myself, but your rising sign is kind of like it's to me more important than your sun sign. It's kind of like the you that comes in the room. Your sun sign is important too, but once I kind of figured out, oh, okay, because I'm a Taurus sun, and yeah,
Mhm.
I exhibit those traits. But hey, I got a little spunk in me. You can see a little Aries in me, can't you? Like
Right.
the Taurus in me would probably be like, oh, I don't want to do no live stream. Oh my god, my makeup ain't together. I could come up with all kind of excuses. But the Aries in me is like, okay, go for it, April.
Uh
So
huh.
I think we get a little bit of everything to help us get through life, and I kind of like that. We're all just a big mesh of like everything. I think we probably got all the signs maybe in
So
our
I guess
chart.
my Virgo side is the one that does interviews and political videos, and then the Scorpio in me does the erotic poetry readings. Is that how
What
it
was you?
works?
What I don't remember. What was your rising sign?
I believe you said it was Scorpio. I thought,
No, that was your
or
moon.
Cancer.
Yeah, I think your rising sign was Cancer because that's what I was picking up on you. And you tend to feel. You can scope out a room. Your empathy allows you to do that. Yeah.
See, that's where I say that even if I'm a total 100% non-believer and say, nah, all of this is hocus pocus, it's witchcraft, I don't believe in it at all, no way, no how, I cannot deny the description that I'm given by the horoscope because it's all, I would say, at least 90% accurate, and I can't deny that, when I see that much truth. And
Right.
I also believe that we had gifts, in our
Oh
earlier
yeah.
days and our ancestors, from the land
Yeah.
they lived on, the diets, the diets they had, the belief
Yeah.
system they had, they
I
had
was a
gifts.
little girl in Louisiana. And on my night to wash dishes, it was every other night, me and my sister, I'm washing dishes and I could feel entities around me. And of course, as a little girl, young girl, I'm scared. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what I'm seeing and why I'm seeing this and why I'm picking up on that. And you try to explain it to an adult and they make you feel like you've done something wrong. I'm a child. I'm a child. I don't know. I don't know. And so they programmed me to think all these things that made me actually kind of special and unique, beat it out of me. They programmed it out of me. They made me feel like I was a black sheep, like I didn't matter, like I was weird and I was strange. And I struggle with a lot. I've struggled with feeling strange. I've tried to commit suicide because I didn't know what to do. And again, my brother and father committed suicide, both at the age of 25 and both 6 weeks before my second birthday, and my brother committed suicide 6 weeks before my twin niece's second birthday. You know, just stuff like that. But I struggled. I struggled with who I was, trying to be this Christian girl, and trying to do everything right. Go to Bible study, go to choir rehearsal. I got to go to usher, practice,
Hmm.
and just trying to do everything right, trying to be perfect. And that is too hard. It's too much for people to try to, obtain. We can't do it. That's why they're failing. That's why these churches, all these people, they're angry and mad. Like I've seen couples get up in the choir stand and sing together, but I've just seen them cuss each other out, like in the parking lot. I've left church and had somebody, cuss me out because, well, I took their parking spot or I sat in their seat. Their seat. Oh my God. That kind of stuff. I think it's just too hard to try to maintain perfection. And there's so many people sitting in these churches, pastors included, and they are unhappy. Unhappy because they're trying to live up to some standard. And who made this crap up? Like who told us that we couldn't see things, that we couldn't experience other dimensions and stuff like that? And why can't we? Why? Why can't we? Why do we all just have to sit in a church and go every Wednesday and Sunday and just do A, B, C, and D? And church for me had got so, oh my God, it was so monotonous. It was like taking like those freezer dinners, like just
Right.
preheating it every Sunday. That's what church has started to feel like for me. It was like taking a frozen dinner, putting it in the microwave, and I felt like all we were doing is just doing everything that's on a checklist. Okay, we sang, we had praise and worship, we got the money, uh, we got the sermon. Let's get some more money. Oh, and we can
But
go
did you
home. And if we
but
can
did you
do this
feel
in under 2 hours, we're really doing something.
but did you feel saved at any point?
Saved?
Yeah, or connected to Jesus when you were there
I
when they were
I
doing that?
felt connected to Jesus in pretty much every church that I went to, but I will say this, and this is honestly, when I went to like say a Kojic or I'll say just charismatic. I don't want to just like single Kojic out, but the atmosphere I would say of Kojic, where you're free to dance and just, oh my God, I felt free. But then I even had people make fun of me for dancing before the Lord. So I felt shame in that. Like, okay, well, I just can't win. I can't win. I got the Christians making fun of me, and it just got to be too much. If you don't drive a Mercedes and you don't live in this neck of the woods, then well, you can't sit at the Christian lunch table, all that kind of stuff. I'm tired of it. I know what that was like being in high school, feeling weird, feeling like I didn't fit in because, well, I'm a chick reading a book about zoology and stuff like that, and I'm not wearing like the latest. And I didn't grow up poor or anything. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and but I wasn't into stuff like that. And I'm not putting down on people who are or whatever. I'm just saying, like, well, you know how harsh black people can be if you don't look apart. You don't play this role, and it's just crazy to me that we think that all black people got to think the same, be the
No,
same.
we water down our gifts. I think that we've
Yes,
learned to hide our gifts because we're
yes,
ashamed. Because even in the hood where my cousins grew up, in the projects and whatnot, when I went and visited them, I was 5 or 6 years old, and I would say things, and the first thing that the adults would say, "Oh, he think he's smart. Oh, he think he knows something. He think he grown." No, I just know what I know. But there was this hate of knowledge. There's this disdain for individualism. So everybody had to wear the same shoes, same hat. If all the
yeah.
boys wear white tees, they all wore white tees. They weren't even gang affiliated. That was just
I,
white. It was just what they
yeah.
wore. It was the thing to do. If one
I
sags
remember
their
being
pants out, uh huh.
I remember being picked on. I used to hate my teeth. I felt like, oh God, do I have too many? They're so white and they're so big. And I remember I wouldn't smile. People don't know. I felt alone. I felt ugly. I felt like, no one would love me or understand me. And then, I'm being molested and all of this. So I've just had bad relationship after bad relationship. I've been hit. I've been hurt, and I've had to just learn how to just deal with it. But I was hiding, and all I've done for pretty much most of my life, and again, I'm 48 years old, is just hide and pretend and just play the role that I've been given. And I just tried to not make waves, but there was always something on the inside of me, like rising up, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna bring you to the surface. I almost feel like this is what you've done for me tonight. I never probably would have agreed to this, because I would have easily just talked myself out of it. I feel like it's my time. It's my time. And no, I ain't got the best wig on today. I don't have like my eyebrows need to be arched, everything. But I'm here. I'm here and I'm having fun and I'm smiling and I feel free. Like I said, I just feel like I've come out of the spiritual closet. I'm out.
Well, my next, and one of my last questions was going to be how therapeutic YouTube has been in your journey as far as being able to share, almost using YouTube as your own personal journal to track your progresses, your ups, your downs, the things you've learned. How therapeutic has this been?
um it's really it's been great, and I don't have a lot of followers. That's not been like the point. The point was like taking down all my old videos and trying to just start from where I'm at now. And I try to talk about my journey, my hurts, and things like that. And in a lot of videos, I'm repeating myself because at those points I hadn't moved past a certain level. Today, I really felt like I was being propelled to a new level. It's been very therapeutic. I feel like the few people who commented or looked or listened, I appreciate them because it made me feel like I was validated, like I wasn't alone in this. And there are a lot of people on this journey just like me. And and I try to say things now, even in my videos, to maybe help someone on their journey. Like some of the things that I've learned, like even what I was saying earlier about like the twin flame journey and all of that, all that kind of stuff. Like, not being so starry-eyed and being careful and protecting your energy. If I had known a lot of that right out the gate, it probably would have saved me a couple of tears and maybe a couple of journal entries.
Hmm. That's very interesting. Well, I do want to leave the last few minutes up to the chat, and of
Okay.
course, on my platform, uh, feel free to network. Feel free to plug your own channels. Uh, I believe I've left a link to April Lashon's channel in the chat, and I'll definitely do it again. Please subscribe to her channel. It's a place of peace. It's a place you can learn. It's a place you can just go to chill. Her 1,440-minute segments are are very inspiring, and she just has a glow and a spirit that attracted me. I don't remember how I found her channel, but I'm really, really thankful that I did.
I'll tell you how. It was your Cat Williams video.
Yeah, but out of a
It was your
million
Cat Williams
views,
video.
right? But out of a
How,
million views, out of
yeah.
all the people that commented on that video, I think it has over 8,000 comments. I found her and her channel.
That's crazy. And I had made a video. You guys could check it out. I had made a video like the day after a Boys to Men concert, and you'll probably you'll get to know that I love Boys to Men. They've been my favorite group for God, almost 30 years now. But I tell the story of how when my brother committed suicide on that same night, I was in a relationship, a serious relationship. I thought me and this man were gonna get married, and he left me on that night. He left me, like literally. He left me a Dear John letter. I go to my best friend's house. I'm stationed. I'm stationed in North Carolina at this time, and I go to my best friend's house. And next thing I know, my mom calls and she tells me my only brother is dead. And this is September the 11th, 1997. And it was a Boys to Men song. I'm doing just fine. And it saved me. It saved me. And that's why I'm still here, you know. I didn't take my life. I didn't die. I'm still here, you know, 20 some years later. And I miss my brother, my only brother. And but I'll say this, just being involved in this metaphysical side, I've been able to talk to my brother and my dad. I spoke to my dad. I needed closure. I wanted to know the truth, and I found out the truth. I wanted to know because I was told something different about my dad's death. I wasn't told that he committed suicide. I was told it was something else. And I was able to ask my father, um, I'm sorry, I was getting emotional. Did he really commit suicide? And he told me yes. And it's changed me. I just, you know, I found this out like 2 weeks ago. But I'm okay. He told me that. He told me that he loves me and that he watches over me. And you guys wouldn't know this, but it's something I've always wanted. I never had my father. And the father I did have touched me and took my innocence. But my daddy told me that he loved me and I'm his little girl. Now, that's always been a dream of mine. I always had this dream that I would have my father, I would run to him, and he would pick me up like a little girl and twirl me around and call me his little girl. And he told me I'm his little girl 2 weeks ago. And I'm
Good.
thankful for that because it gave me the closure I needed. And he told me he's okay and he watches over me. He watches over me. And one of my best friends who passed, she was 25 years older than me. She watches over me. And it makes me feel so loved. Our loved ones, they've just transitioned. They're just not in their earthly bodies. They're still with us. And if you want to connect with them, go to them with a sincere heart and love. And you'll get the answers and they're here. And I hope that helps somebody.
A lot about my intentions tonight for having the interview uh, was to have you tell your wonderful story, be able to share a part of yourself with us because I knew it would be intriguing. I knew there would be things that we could learn. And to have the courage to be able to share your story as candidly as you have tonight, I know has inspired and will be a blessing to many young ladies out there, to many people out there that are on the
Thank
same
you.
journey that have been hurt or have dealt with the pain, dealt with the struggle, or empaths who absorb everybody else's pain, but then stop and say, "Well, what about my own?" You know,
Yeah, I
you've
wet the bed. I wet the bed. Up until I wet the bed. I'm 48. I wet the bed for 48 years because I was too scared, to get up because I knew the monster, my stepfather, was gonna be there. I wouldn't get out of my bed. I would wet the bed. I was too scared. I wouldn't take a shower with the lights on because he would be there. I carried all that fear all my life, and I'm finally free of it. I'm finally free of it. I can shower now with the light on. I haven't wet the bed in months. In months, y'all. That's huge for me. My sister got tired of me wetting the bed, laying in that cold pee, that stench. But it's over. I'm free. This cycle is over. Praise God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Thank you. I'm
and
free.
part of learning and part of growth, part of sharing is exactly what happened here tonight. And I
Mm-hmm.
love the spirit of learning and sharing and growth that we have here tonight with all the people in the chat that have shared their stories. HTH, who educated us, one proud grandma who shared. I had no idea she was an empath. Well, I think we
Wow.
may have discussed it before, but not really in depth. You know, we talk
Mm-hmm.
about so much here on YouTube that is about negativity or about beef or drama between channels. And I can say that all of your videos have been 1,000% positive. There's not been any shade thrown at anybody. There hasn't been anybody that you had to kick down, not men, not the church. Out of all the excuses you have to hate men, to mistrust the church, to look sideways at people, you actually bring a love and a uh, I don't know, like a certain deliverance from
The
all
only
the.
way I think to ascend and evolve,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been doing this a lot of cord cutting meditations. You have to release this stuff. I'm telling you, everyone on the chat, you have to face the person you've been, that ugly part of you, and you know it. It's the part you don't want nobody to see. It's the jealousy, it's the lying, it's all that stuff that you do. You gotta face it now. You do. I've had to face who I am. I ain't perfect. I'm no angel, not by any stretch of the imagination. You have to deal with your stuff, and you have to constantly like slay your ego almost, because our egos want to just keep us here. It's safe in this, but if you want to go higher, release the people that hurt you. Release them in love and let them go. Release every painful, memory or moment, anything. Like, seriously, I've gone back through like my childhood, and I'm talking about the boy that hit me. I had to release him. The boy that stood me up for the prom. My son's father, who used to beat me. I'm talking about at 16. I'm getting beat at school, beat. My self-esteem was so low, y'all. Oh God, I was in the gutter, just in the gutter. How I saw myself was the gutter. And I can't blame the men that came into my life. I attracted those men by the way I thought about myself. When you look at yourself, ooh, honey, you ain't got time to blame everybody else. Now, what the hurts that have been inflicted on me, yes, they hurt, but I was the common denominator. Seriously, ladies, look at your relationships. Look at the people you're giving your body to, your energy to. It's you. It's you, sweetie. You change your energy, you'll attract a king, a real king, not a page, a king. And some of y'all, you'll get that. You'll get that later. You'll attract. You see, we attract who we really are, like who we're pretending to be. A lot of us are just pretending. We're wearing a mask. I wore it. I wore it at church. I'm up here pretending that I'm so happy, and here I am taking lithium, going to church taking lithium, 100 milligrams of lithium, because I need to sleep. I need to cope. Face yourself if you can. Get a mirror tonight before you go to bed and just start telling yourself, I love you. You're beautiful. I'm abundant. I'm positive. I only attract good things. Favor falls on me. Money is attracted to me. Good people, good energy. Start calling that stuff in. The relationship you want with a good man, start calling it in. But most importantly, start being that. Start being that. Stop worrying about, getting your hair done. Stop worrying about all this just outward stuff. Work on the inside, and then everything else that you want is going to come to you, because you are beautiful, you are radiant, you are sexy, you are all those things. You really are. But until you believe it, until you start living it, it's just going to be just the same Groundhog Day. We all know how that went.
And see, all of that had nothing, and I want everybody to pay attention to this, had nothing to do with tarot, had nothing to do with medium, had nothing to do with astrology. That was all life lessons learned from, you know, a who thought they were a person who thought they were a piece of coal that turned out to be a
Yeah.
diamond the whole time. And those things that happen, that pressure you went through, is what shaped you to be the woman that you are now, that you came from it, are able to talk about it, able to share, and hopefully able to help thousands of others who have also gone through abuse, are disillusioned by the church, who've been hurt by people that are very close to them, who they were supposed to trust. Those of us who have health issues that, once we had a healthier lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
and had discipline, were delivered from that as well. Like I say, I just see such a bright light from you.
Thank
And I
you.
think that's what attracted me to you in the beginning. I'm glad that God brought you to me. I'm
Oh,
glad that you had the courage to talk about this tonight. Like I say, this was so enlightening for me. And I walk
thank
away from
you.
this conversation feeling empowered. I feel
Thank you.
stronger. I feel upbeat. I don't feel like it's almost 10 o'clock at night. I feel like,
Because we're
you know,
not throwing blows and stuff at each other, and we're not making fun of each other, and we're not trying to put each other down, and we're not saying, your hair ugly, or your teeth crooked, or this and that. We're talking about real stuff. All that housewives and all that craziness, you don't need it. That's what's bringing your energy down. Thinking about Trump and what he's gonna do every day, that's what's bringing people down. Stop listening to all this stuff. Let these people go, all these pundits and all these people that's all they talk about. Do you know how much energy it's taken out of them to keep up with Trump every single day, and negativity every day? These people are chasing this stuff like it's a pot of gold. Let this stuff go. Get out in nature. Start breathing in some fresh air. Start doing that. Hey, take a break from social media. You will love it. Go to the library. Books are there. I love books. It's the quickest way to take a vacation. Go to the library. Start doing the stuff that all the world thinks is strange. All that stuff that you've been programmed to think, that's the good stuff. Books are still good. Nature is good. Drinking water is still good. Do that kind of stuff. Let Trump, let these housewives, let them go. And maybe, by us not subscribing to all this stuff, they'll change what they put in, on the airwaves. And I used to watch Power and all that kind of stuff, honey. And I tell you, I was, hey, I was watching Power. I don't even have cable. right now. I don't have cable. When I tell you guys, God got me away. He took me out of Egypt, literally. Uprooted me 4 months ago, had me put everything I own in storage. I drove over 700 miles. I'm living in Georgia, and I'm sleeping on a borrowed air mattress. I came here with a few dresses and some flip flops. But when I tell you, I have so much peace. I was in a 4 bedroom house, with everything, pretty much everything, and too much stuff. Too much stuff. I have more peace here with my little flip flops, my 90 plus Oracle and tarot cards, and my crystals, and this air mattress, and I'm happy. I'm happy. You know why? I'm letting go of a lot of stuff. I really am. And I have to. It's weighing me down. It's too much to carry on my back. I'm only 5'4". I'm tired of all this stuff and I don't need it. And all those clothes now, probably I'm just going to end up giving them away whenever I make it back up there. You know? Yeah. I
Well,
ramble, so sometimes you have to stop me because I just go.
no, this was amazing, and I think a lot of people needed to hear it. And I hope people visit your channel to feel the same peace and see the same light that I see every time that I see your notifications come up.
Thank
Um,
you.
Tonight was very educational. Again, for those that aren't into the supernatural, into the esoteric, I hope that they learned something, took something from this.
Mhm.
There's so much positive, and I hope everybody can feel those positive vibes of love and understanding that I'd love to pump out to the universe tonight, and to hope that it manifests into something great in yourself, the people around you, your homes. Having this positive vibe sent to you tonight from us, from God.
Thank
Um,
you.
this was fun. This was
It was.
enlightening. This was emotional. But most of all, I feel like this was truthful. And I hope it ends up being helpful. April Lashon, this has
Thank you.
been a pleasure. And is there
Thank
anything
you.
else you'd like to say to the people before we close?
I'd like to just lift you all up in prayer. I ask Father God, please, right now, just anyone who is on this chat, I don't know what they're going through. I want you to just wrap your arms around them, send a heavenly hedge of protection, and just encircle them right now. God, I ask that you just surround them with your love and light. If there is a need that they have, God, meet it. Financial, emotional, whatever, physical, medical, whatever it is. God, I ask that you just give them safe travel and mercy wherever they may go tomorrow. Protect their families. Give them favor, Lord, on their jobs. Give them favor if they have a job interview tomorrow. Whatever they need, God, I just stretch my hands and I send them all love and light. And I thank you, God, for your goodness, for your mercy, for your protection. I thank you. I thank you for being so good to all of us. I thank you for keeping us. God, surround us right now in these troubling times and just let your light wash over us. God, we thank you. You are wonderful. You are good. And we love you. We love you. Love and light to all of you. Love and light. Namaste.
Namaste. Again, that was April Lashon. This is Sly Jones Interviews. Again, I'll be live tomorrow night, sometime between 10 p.m. and 11:59
I
Eastern
receive
Time.
it.
This was a lot of fun. This was awesome. And I want to thank you for taking the time tonight, April Lashon. I hope this was just awesome. I
Thank
can't say
you.
enough about how good I feel inside right now. Like I say, it's like a little light inside of me that's just growing so bright. If I went outside, I'd probably blind my neighbors right now with my inner light. It's just so I've been so impacted tonight. So again, I
I
want to
might
thank
write
that.
another song or something. I write songs and sometimes I just make up songs and stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Well, again, this is so much fun. So for one proud grandma, melanated princess, melanated high priestess, rather, HTH, everybody who hung in here in the chat. Primping
Thank
Ain't
you
Easy,
all.
everybody. Thank you so much for attending. Again, check out April Lashon's channel. Check out my live tomorrow night. This is Sly Jones. I love you all, and I wish you a peaceful, loving, awesome good night. Thank you so much for attending.
Good night. Bye, everybody.